Council, let's move to items of new business. I think we have some folks here this evening that are joining us for a special celebration. We will be renaming the athletic field at Greer City Stadium to the Lonnie McGee Field. To do that, we're going to take action this evening. I know that some of the family is here, and so I am going to be reading the resolution, at which point in time we'll have to have somebody to make a motion to receive and then a second. Once that action is taken, since this is the last item of business that we have before us this evening, under new business, this is the first and final reading of resolution number 4-2025. This is a resolution to name the athletic field at Greer City Stadium the Lonnie McGee Field. I'll entertain a motion that be received.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments?
Earlier, Jay and Jess said the wheels of government move slow. Basically, it's hard to get anything done in government. But I want to thank staff. I want to thank the mayor, thank this council, because this didn't happen by one person. It was everybody pulling together in the same direction. Guy was a spectacular individual in our community, and I thank the family for being here tonight. And it's just icing on the cake that we're able to pull this together in Black History Month to solidify this history of this Black legend in the city of Greer. So thank you all.
Others?
Well, I'm excited we have the opportunity to do this. Guy was a big part of my life growing up playing sports here in the city and going on and playing in high school and even running the department for recreation at our church. He was at all of the meetings that we held there, all the games, all the growing up. He was just a constant on the field, and brought so much joy to all of us. And I'm glad that we have the opportunity to recognize him tonight.
I was telling the mayor, I was at a event Saturday and ran into an old coach of mine from Greer High, and we were talking about McGee, and the fellow I was talking to was Marion Waters, who became the principal of Greer High, and he truly believes that McGee had a big part in just, I guess you would call it, witnessing to the student body that said, McGee and his buddy DC, they were in the school, they were around the school, they were the ultimate fans, they were your ultimate supporters, and the kids in the high school saw that and saw how, all right, we need to support the way they do, we need to enjoy things the way McGee did, but also that if there are people who are less fortunate, it doesn't matter. We embrace them, and if they need something, we help. And it's, as you look back on a life, McGee had without knowing it, he had a huge impact on our city, and I'm proud and thankful that I could experience all of that.
As my sons grew up, they played church basketball, and I don't know how he was able to do it, but he would make games all over the city on Saturdays. I mean, it might be first game at First Baptist, then he'd be at Fairview, and then he'd be at First Pres, and then he'd be somewhere else. It was like he had a chauffeur or something. But for anybody that ever saw him at a basketball game, you knew that the referees brought him a whistle, the whistle that he's known for. But the whistle they brought him didn't have a ball in it, so it wouldn't make any noise, because if he had one with a ball in it, nobody knew what was going on the floor or in the seats, because he would be blowing it the whole time the game was going. He never did shy away from wanting to be the center of attention either, did he? We, as a city, come together with our employees from time to time for different kinds of events, and we were having a city picnic here shortly after this building had been built, and all our employees were gathered around. Our staff was here. He was roaming the field, doing his thing, and we made some announcements right here outside one of these doors. We made some announcements and talked about events that were going to be going on that day. And I asked if everybody would bow their heads so we could have a blessing before we began the picnic. And before I could say another word, just like he'd been shot out of a cannon, he came from the right of me and just ran right in front of me, grabbed the microphone and took off yelling something. We don't know what it was, but I don't know if the Spirit had moved him or what, but we had to retrieve the microphone for us to do a blessing before we could get started that day. Speaking of events, as the councilman mentioned, Mr. Booker mentioned earlier, this resolution tonight will also precede something else that we will be doing at the field at a later date. Certainly, we're changing the name of the field, and we want to memorialize that in some way. So be mindful that we'll have another event actually at the stadium at some time, and I know the high school is planning to do something as well during the football season. So let me read the resolution. This is resolution number 4-2025. It is a resolution to name the athletic field at Greer City Stadium Lonnie McGee Field. And it reads, whereas Lonnie McGee embodied and instilled community spirit for 6 decades through the warmth of his personality and unfettered love for the city of Greer, Greer High School, and the games of football and basketball. And whereas Lonnie McGee faithfully traversed the streets in the city of Greer, spreading positivity and becoming a beloved figure known throughout the state as a symbol of the Greer community. And whereas Lonnie McGee proudly led the Greer High Band at athletic games, competitions, and parades. And whereas Lonnie McGee enthusiastically greeted patrons at the Greer City Stadium for youth football and soccer games, and also served as an honorary referee and coin toss official. Whereas in recognition of his love for and contributions to the city of Greer, the mayor and the city council wish to rename the athletic field at Greer City Stadium in honor of Lonnie McGee. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the mayor and the members of the city council of Greer, assembled together, that the athletic field at Greer City Stadium now be named Lonnie McGee Field. This resolution shall be effective upon approval by the council of the city of Greer. Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas.
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Ms. Albert.
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes.